Hi guys, my name is iPhong and welcome to iTalk. 2 weeks ago, after knowing what happened to MCK, I was more angry than sad. I had a feeling both sad and angry, but I feel angry more than sad because I mentioned about this many times on these channels. Vietnam has no freedom of arts, and currently the censorship acts and the copyright acts in Vietnam has gone too far. Alright? And last week, MCK make another post and he bended his knee more. He announced people on the internet that he has to not go to the concert, not to go to the gig, not go to the live stage, so he can focus modify his song on his HVL album. Then I don't know if he be able to bounce back after what the government in Vietnam did to him, because situation like this easily gonna get the artist who lives in Vietnam get demotivated to continue working. Alright? I know MTP's kinda bounce back, but in my opinions, making my way or come my way songs made by MTP, they are not for me. Alright? You guys and girls, if you're fans of MTP and if you're fans of Making My Way or Come My Way, then good for you. But for me, I dislike listening to music that the artists, they feel limited, they feel dying inside. Alright? I only want to listen to the music that the artist having fun, you know? So I know that this post written in Vietnamese. That's the reason why later in these videos I'm gonna show you the Google Translate, because there is no grok on Facebook, and this is MCK official social medias, by the way. And what underneath is announcement by Cam by 8. The I think is concert social medias, the gig social medias, the live stage social medias, and yeah, it's the same thing, and I would rather only focus on Google Translate MCK's post later in these videos, but I also really want to show you more, because 2 weeks ago MCK make a really long post which I covered in the talking videos and even Google translated, and I know it's long videos, by the way, and I have to go here. Alright, MCK comments his own post to telling everyone not to spread the false news, and it's all of his own willing. I think MCK knew the risk of making the songs that is having offensive language and dark content, by the way. That's the reason why in his music videos, even if it's just the album cover, nothing else, in the beginning of his music videos, the intro, there's a warning, there's a disclaimer that hey, there's going to be F word, there's going to be offensive language. If you're under the age of consent, don't listen to his music or watching the music videos alone. Make sure that there's adults guidance. Alright, and also the main purpose of the artists making songs is just for fun, and also sometimes spreading message as well. But they try to spread good message. They never meant to asking the audience to do something rash, like for example jump off the building. It's never both the MCK's and it's never MTP intention. They want to tell the story through the music videos, and they also want to have fun on the music videos. But unfortunately, as I said, there's no freedom of arts in Vietnam, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I see feedback on the internet and I have to agree. Rap, hip hops in Vietnam is dying and we need your help. And also, I think it's the same reason why that heavy metals or rock in Vietnam, they did have good history, but at the same time, because of the governments in Vietnam limited contents, it's really tough for the artists to make songs, all right, and slowly it's becoming the slobs, the love song slobs, all right. The only topic that they can make songs about is love, and that's it, okay. And honestly, there's more that I really want to talk about, but I think people are going to have the different opinions about this, the 50-50s, and yeah, I don't want to say something that I might regret, alright. So for now, let's focus on MCK's comments first, and yeah, it's in Vietnamese, there's no grok on this social media. So yeah, let's read the Google Translate in English, shall we? To the audience, the fan community, and MCK's followers, as previously shared, MCK earnestly asks for your understanding regarding this matter. He requests that you refrain from fabricating stories or sharing unofficial, unverified, and misleading information. That's what I try to do. I go straight to the artist's social medias. Furthermore, he asks that you stop making negative judgment or engaging in aggressive behavior towards competent authorities and relevant parties, actions that could distort the nature of the situation and potentially leads to unintended legal violations. I remember why he made these comments. So apparently, after what the governments in Vietnam did to MCKs, asked him to remove over half of the songs in his HVL album just because of offensive language, F words and stuff. And yeah, right now MCK has to not go to a live stage, not to go to a concert, not go to the gigs. He has to stay at home, maybe plan things out with anti-art and modify his songs, maybe change the lyrics to make it family friendly. And it sucks, I know. And I think his fan base are wild ones, you know, and try to review 1 star on Google's to the governments on Google Map. Yeah, there's a locations. When there's part of the governments they in charge for entertainment industry in Vietnam, and people on the internet review 1 stars and direct attack the governments. Let me tell you some things. Please differentiate the constructive criticism and the direct attack, alright? I think 1 star reviews on Google Map to the governments in Vietnam's headquarters, it's not wrong. But you have to do constructive criticism why you give them 1 stars. Like for example, there's no freedom of arts. You need to be open to the artists. let the artists tell their stories through the MV. Then let the artists have fun and trying to make songs, spread the message. Alright, and also, isn't the main point of the rap and hip hop there's no rule at all? There is no rules in rap. There's no rules in hip hop. The only rules that you have to do is to make it rhyme, you know, to make the lyrics rhyme. That's it. And also, you don't rap about betraying your country, you know. And also, there's this track, battle rap in hip hop, rap musics, and the main point is to hey, like we're trying to make the good argument, wordplay. Try to look at the positive side of battle rap, you know. It's like the election. Alright? It's like the elections. But in battle rap, like people trying to defend their opinions with rhymes and yeah. It shows skills, you know. And honestly, that's just my opinions. Reviewing 1 stars to the governments in Vietnam is not bad. But do not direct attack the 1 stars. You did it to MCKs. Screw you. Don't do that, alright? Don't. You're just making not only yourself look worse, but also like the MCK community as a whole look worse as well. Also, the hip hop, the rap community looks worse as well. Alright? In my opinions, review 1 stars to the governments in Vietnam's headquarters. It's not a bad thing, but you have to be constructive criticism about it, alright? Even me, I support the yellow star flags of Vietnam, but the governments in Vietnam, they did some questionable things, so there has to be constructive criticisms, alright? I know the Copyright Act and the Censorship Acts, they have gone too far. That's why constructive criticism needs to be there. Direct attack, cursing the governments in Vietnam is not okay. Alright, that's the reason why MCK trying to make a comments for his post that I Google Translate in English 2 weeks ago. Alright, and right now we are reading his comments in Google Translate in English because yeah, Facebook they don't have Grok, so yeah, I have to deal with Google Translate for now. But also, if there's any mistranslation, because it's Google Translate at the end of the day, leave the comments down below. Alright? I'm Vietnamese, I do understand, but still, alright? People outside of Vietnam's non-Vietnamese speakers, they also need to know this. Alright? The current situation in Vietnam, there is no freedom of arts in Vietnam, and I don't think there's, I mean, yes, the normal people believe that there's freedom of speech, but not for the governments, you know. I know Vietnam is a communist country for politics, governments, but the normal people down there, the normal citizens, we are welcome people to state your opinions. But yeah, remember, do not attack each other's, alright? All opinions deserve to be respected, but don't attack each other's, alright? Alright, let's continue reading the MCK's comments. The decision to remove the unsuitable recording and implement a remedial measure was entirely proactive, voluntary, and sincere on MCK's part. It aims to rectify errors swiftly while demonstrating a receptive attitude and respect for the laws. Now, this is where MCK announced that he bent the knees more. Alright? However, like, something bothers me. If it's proactive, voluntary, and sincere on MCK part, then why there's official governments in Vietnam social medias, they announced that they will work with MCK trying to get half of his songs in his HVL albums being removed. I mean, I know MCK make it announce first, and then the governments in Vietnam's official social medias announce later, and multiple police departments in Vietnam, so official social medias also make the announcement like that. But I feel like if you're being fans of MCKs for a really long time, like MCK really loves to have fun, But the proactive, voluntary, sincere on MCK's part to respect the laws, I think that MCK knew the risk. Alright? He had a 50-50 conscience in his mind. Should he go for the risk for making the songs being him, alright? Being MCK, being him, alright? Should be taking risk, being himself. Or the safe option is to respect the law and bend the knees. And yeah, artists in Vietnam, they have a feel that they have no choice, alright, because of the laws. There is no freedom of arts in Vietnam, and artists who lives in Vietnam, they are trying their best to introduce Vietnamese music to the international market, to international friends, to the whole wide world. But because of limitation, because of censorship acts, there's going to be a limited topics for artists to make songs about, and they cannot have fun. They cannot bring all out, I think the HVLs before the deletions, MCK's really brought all out, To compare his previous album, I think the HVLs, this is when MCK's bring all out. They try their best to bring Vietnamese music to the international audience, trying their best to get their works to be known all around the world, alright? But I cannot believe government in Vietnam's trying to target art more than actual criminals in real life. This is not just the government problems in Vietnam, it's the government's problems entire world, They target on the drawing, they target on art, they target on music more than they even target on it's to protect the children. No, it's not. No. What you should be target on is school bullying, school shooting, and domestic violence, especially parents beat up their children to not living. That is just my opinions, alright? I feel like the governments, if they truly think about protect the children, focus on school bullying, focus on school shooting, focus on domestic violence. Focus on that, would you? Please. Don't focus on the KOSA. Don't focus on KOSA. Don't focus on the age verifications. Don't focus on banning children away from social medias. This is not the right way to do, We need more people call all the governments out for this. And this is not okay. This is not okay. The government themselves asked the question how to become a Vietnamese versions of Steve Jobs. Now let's change the name a little bit. Instead of Steve Jobs, maybe change to Dr. Dre or Snoop Dogg or Eminem or Yeah, like just change it up a little bit. How to create a Vietnamese version of Eminem. But still, governments in Vietnam restrict contents, limit contents, and make it harder for the artists to find the topic to make songs about. This is not okay, you know. And also, the governments in Vietnam also ask a school in Vietnam to take a test again, take exams again. And in my opinion, it's not fair, you know. It's not fair. It's not. Because the governments, I feel like it's very obvious. They focus on grades. They don't focus on actually solving the root of the problems. Vietnam is currently living in an era when there's AI art in the school textbook, which making the entirely of Vietnam's, except the governments of course, angry. Alright? Like how do children in Vietnam supposed to study when there's AI art in the school textbook? When people trying to teach children the bad side of school bullying, but then there's an image of two boys, they cap it on, and their facial expression, they look happy, they don't look scared at all. What is going on here? Governments in Vietnam, we demand answer. I cannot let you be silenced any more longer, you know. Like you have to solve the root of the problems, like make the educations become human made, please. Let's start with the simple first. Let's make the education in Vietnam become human made. The art made by human, and using better poem, using a better art piece. And you know, there are so many good poem and works from the artists in the past has teach the later generation to generations, and now Vietnamese children have to deal with the school bullying's poem, the wasabi or the mustard school bullying's poem. It doesn't make any sense. All right, like yeah, there's a huge problems in Vietnam, and we need to speak up. All right. Alright, back to MCK's comments. MCK continues to cooperate actively with the competent authority to resolve the matters. He aspired to be a young artist with strong sense of social responsibilities. He already has. Alright? MCK is already a talented young artist. Already, okay? Like, he is a wild one, you know? I think people on the internet calls MCK a wild one. But remember, artists are human too, you know? So just let MCK do music however he wants. Alright? MCK, he did not do drug, you know? So like what's the point on restrict him? What's the point? The people on the police needs to actually sent to prison is the people actually do drug, do illegal substance. Alright, not MCK. Alright, MCK didn't do drugs. He made song about drugs. I think it's okay. Alright, I think it's okay. Alright. That's my opinions, alright? The arts is not having any phones at all. Alright? What's important that MCK didn't do drugs? What's important that MCK didn't do illegal substance, alright? He's already a talented young artist with strong sense of social responsibilities already. So the meaning of social responsibility means that you acknowledge of what the social issues is going on around you. You acknowledge that doing drugs and illegal substance is very bad and is illegal and is a no-go. Alright? What social responsibilities is the acknowledge that you know school bullying is bad. You know the parenting neglection is bad. Alright? NTP made song, there's no one at all. He trying to tell the story through the music videos. He trying to show people the dark sides of what happened if you neglect the children, you don't bring them love at all. And they growing up being rebellious and dealing with school bullying and knowing the reasons, and it just when it reached the dead end, the characters in the storylines jump off the buildings. What's important that MTPs don't do drugs, alright? What's important that MTP don't do illegal substance, alright? He just trying to make music, that's all. He trying to tell story through the music videos. That's it. I think like we cannot give excuse on there's there's no warning, there's no disclaimers in the intro. We cannot give excuse for that because what happened to MCKs, even with the warning in the intro, even with the disclaimer in the intro or the music videos, even it's just the album covers and nothing else, he still get called out by governments in Vietnam. He still, even if he said that it's entirely proactive, voluntary and sincerely, I don't think that's the case. You know, I don't think so. Sometimes these are just my thoughts, alright? Like sometimes artists, they cannot set everything. They cannot tell people everything, you know. They cannot, because of the governments, you know. The level of censorship acts, like they can silence anyone anytime they want. Alright? That's how bad it is. And the same thing on copyright acts. Alright. MCK aspired to be a young artist with a strong sense of social responsibility, one who creates and contributes to the nation music scenes while upholding the absolute rules of laws, and he hopes for your support in this endeavor. Sincerely thanks to the audience, the fan community, and MCK's followers, MCK. I'm not gonna lie, after reading this, I feel like MCK made a safe choice. It's a bad choice, in my opinion, but it's a safe choice. Dislike it though, but it's a safe choice for now because for any artist who lives in Vietnam land, alright, they are struggles, you know, because they cannot go all out because governments in Vietnam, they restrict contents, they limit contents, make it difficult for artists to find the topics to sing about, to rap about, to make songs about. And it needs to stop. The laws in Vietnam has to be changed, alright? In my opinions, I really want to give 1-star reviews to the headquarters of governments in Vietnam, but I am not gonna direct attack, alright? Instead, be constructive criticisms, telling that the laws in Vietnam has to change. If you want to restrict contents, if you want to limit contents, then sure, you can. Only restrict contents about rapping about betraying country, make songs about betraying countries. Like, yeah, that's the only thing that you need to restrict on, you know. That's what it feels like. If the governments in Vietnam want to restrict contents, want to limit contents, then they can. Alright, they 100% they absolutely can. Just only calling out the artists, they cannot make songs about betraying the country. That's it. Alright? If then the artists in Vietnam making a diss tracks about the governments in Vietnam, constructive criticisms, yes, they absolutely can. But making songs about praising the forbidden flags, that is no go. Alright, that is no go. Alright, the laws in Vietnam has to change. Of course, there still be restricted content. Of course, there's still limited contents. But the only things people need to restrict is to make songs about betraying the country. That's it. That is my opinions about this, alright? The laws in Vietnam has to be changed. Of course, if the artist do illegal substance, go to jail. If the artist do drugs, go to jail. That's it. If the artist makes songs about drugs, that's totally fine. My opinion, alright? If the artist makes songs about dark contents like school bullyings and calling out bad things about domestic violence, that is totally fine. Alright? So yeah, that is my opinion about this. Restricted contents about betraying the country, and also the wrong history event. Alright, we cannot let any more incidents like what happened in the third season of Rap Viet. His name is not Ho. His first name is not Ho, you know. That is last name. Alright, that is a huge mistake. Alright, we cannot let that happen again, you know. So yeah, I really hope that the governments in Vietnam take actions correctly, calling out Work Point Vietnam and VON instead of calling out MCK, because I think MCK did nothing wrong here. Alright, I know the current situation, there's a lot of artists in Vietnam do illegal substance, do drugs, but not MCKs, alright? Not MCK. And I don't think like people giving excuse on all the timing, the bad timing on releasing album or music video. No, it's not. Let the artists do whatever they want. That's my opinion. Let the artists do whatever they want. Alright? Then if later, if the artists do illegal substance or do drugs, then yeah, the governments, they can feel free to remove all of the artists' works out of the internet whatever they want. Just like in Japan, like what happened to the drummers, I think it's a former members of ALI, Ali, and yeah, he did illegal things in Japan. Then later that I think Japanese artists, they are very responsible. They delete works that appears criminals. Alright, and I think Leo, the vocalist, rappers, ALI, Also even went out of his way to re-edit one of his music videos, which is a good step, you know, which is a good step. All right, I think Vietnam should do the same. All right, I think governments in Vietnam should learn from Japan instead of learning from EU or UK or China's. All right, I think governments in Vietnam should learn some stuff from Japan, just some stuff. All right, I cannot say it all of it because 100% every country has their own unique. So like you cannot copy paste other countries too much. But yeah, like Vietnam is a developing country, and I feel like Vietnam should developing forward, not backward. All right, learn from a correct path. Don't learn from an incorrect path. All right. I really don't want Vietnam to become the UK 2.0. You know, I really don't want that. All right. So that being said, we're done with the MCK's comments. Let's continue reading the Google Translate in English for MCK's latest post. To the audience and MCK's fans community, MCK would like to share that he and his entire team are currently focused on finalizing the HVL albums. Yeah, he is going to modify half of his songs in his HVL album. This is not looking good. In my opinion, this is not looking good. We saw what happened to MTP. There's no one at all another version still on these social medias. And that is the finalizing. And in my opinion, there's no one at all another version by MTP. I dislike it. I rather listen to the original version, you know. I dislike listen to the music that limited, you know. I want the artist to have fun. I want the artist to go all out. But the governments in Vietnam prevented that. And yeah, it just feels like no way out, you know. The only way for artists, for Vietnamese artists to succeed is to go to Vinland Saga. What I meant is to leave the country. And it just leave the war zone, you know. Just stay away from the restrictions. Stay away from the land that have the restriction laws and limit laws on contents. So yeah, come on. To the audience and MCK fans community, MCK would like to share that he and his entire team are currently focused on finalizing the HVL album. Given the immense production workload, which demands meticulousness, intense focus, and a full-time commitment, MCK feels that performing at this moment might prevent him from delivering the levels of excellence and polish his audience expects. That is 100% true, because do you know how much money did MCK spend on making album? And also hiring anti art for the music videos, the whole crew behind the scene. It's not cheap, you know. It's like, I think millions or billions of the USD dollars. It's not VND dong anymore. It's USD dollars. It's not dong. It's not Vietnam dong. It's like US dollars. It's that much money, millions, billions of USD, not million or billion of VND. All right, very large amount of money. All right, and it's a lot of stress, you know. Like I feel so bad for MCK and MTP, man. A lot of money totally gone, and I think it's much worse that they also had to pay fine to the governments in Vietnam. So they're losing more money. It's not looking good. Therefore, MCK must regretfully withdraw from the Damn Gala, which is the name of the concerts. Also, yeah, they do have their own social medias. the concert social medias, and this missed this opportunity to meet everyone. To MCK, appearing without being fully prepared would not do justice to the audience. Which showed that MCK he has good social responsibilities, you know. He acknowledged, despite the MCK's absent Cam Gala in Ho Chi Minh City, which is also known as Saigon, by the way, on the evening of the 8th of August 2026. Just to let you guys and girls know, in Vietnam, usually we put the number of date first, and then the month, and then the years. In USA, you put months, and then day, numbers day, and then the years. I think in Japan it's going to be much different, right? Or China is be much different, right? Leave the comments down below, you know. We'll proceed as planned. Which is last week, I think. The entire production team, the 99 members, symphony orchestra, the choir, and the 7 guest artists are putting the finishing touches on the events to ensure the best possible experience for the audience. At first, that the MCK deeply admires. MCK hopes everyone enjoyed a wonderful evenings filled with the magnificent musical gifts the artists have prepared. I'm not gonna lie, I saw the Game Gala's clips. It was hilarious. I cannot believe anh Phan, the very comedic rappers in Vietnam, made it to Game Galas, and it's hilarious. I mean, even though without MCK's make it to a Game Gala, I mean, I think the artists who made it to Game Gala, they still willing to shout out to MCKs, you know. They still willing to do that, which is pretty nice. That reminds me of the round tables, the OSU tournaments that BTMC hosted, and there's a contestant they cannot make it to USA because of visa issues. Then OSU players, they are being very, very nice. They try to shout out to I think it's a contestant from Hong Kong, right? MCY for? I don't know, is it from Hong Kong or China? I cannot remember. Leave the comments down below. I have bad memories. I am so forgetful, you know. But yeah, like when there's a contestant they cannot make it to the tournament, shout out. Alright, the same thing in these scenarios. When there's artists they cannot make it to the concert, shout out. You know, shout out. Furthermore, MCK and his team are working closely with the organizer of Cam Gala to plan a makeup performance, which they did. They in ongoing discussion to schedule the earliest possible date in Ho Chi Minh City, ensuring the audience receive a truly complete and polished performance. And once again, MCK sincerely hopes for the understanding of the audience and his fans, allowing him the opportunity to return soon with top quality musical products and performance. MCK sincerely thanks everyone. MCK. Oh boy. I feel bad for MCKs and MTP. I think MCK speaking up, announcing for the whole internet to see about this. This is showcase on how dark the futures of entertainment industry in Vietnam will be becomes in the futures. No, actually, it's becoming like this whole time, you know. Like I think. Even before and during the pandemic eras, the 2020s eras, I feel like this is not looking good because this cannot happen again. The laws in Vietnam needs to change. They have to change. Give the artists a freedom to make arts as long that they not making songs which has lyrics telling wrong historical events. And yeah, let the artists do whatever they want as long as they don't make songs about betraying the country. If they're making a diss tracks on governments in Vietnam, constructive criticism, then that is totally fine. But making a direct attack betraying the countries, that has to be restricted. That has to be limited contents. Alright? That is just my opinions about this. But again, laws in Vietnam, they need to change. Alright? And I think even the governments themselves, they are human beings. They also need to change as well. They need to listen to the people below. Alright? They need to listen to their people. Alright? The governments, they need to hear the feedback and decide what's the best solution about this. Alright? Like, come on, like, the censorship acts gone too far. Laws in Vietnam need to change. We cannot restrict artists like this. We can't. We absolutely can't. And up until this day, Workpoint Vietnam and Vion, they still get away with this. The third season of Rap Viet, in my opinion, is the worst season. Alright? It's that bad. You know? Like, I feel like Dubbies, he's old enough to be responsible at the court, you know? I think the rules of Rap Viet, you have to write their own lyrics. And making the wrong historical events. Yeah, I'm sorry that and even though he's apologized, but still need to pay the fine to the governments in Vietnam. Still, you know. And I think also the whole game shows behind the scenes. I think Workpoints Vietnam, I think Vion, I think Rap Viet, they also need to be punished by governments in Vietnam. They cannot get away like this. They can't. Alright? They can't. And also to Cadmium, I think that your performance not deserves to get 100% vote. Alright? You did nothing wrong, according to law, but I feel like the game shows had sabotaged you, you know? And I feel like Cadmium, if she continue rapping, then give her a second chance. She deserves that. But I feel like Workpoints Vietnam, Vion, and the game shows behind the scene, I think they sabotage her. I feel so bad because at that time, the third season of Rap Viet, the Vietnamese version of the rappers, Cadmium was only 16 years old. Where is the protecting the children? Where? And I think right now Cadmium is old enough to be responsible with the laws already, over the age of consent already. So if Cadmium continue to rap, give her a second chance. But it has to be real here. Her performance on the third season of Rap Viet, the Vietnamese version of the rappers, it just showed that if you vote no, if there is 99% instead of 100%, the whole internet is going to track down that 1% that betraying the country. While like what if that 1% they trying to judge fairly on the performance on the contestants, which doesn't make any sense, right? Like, we have to judge fairly on the performance, not the mindset. All right, not the like patriotic mindset. All right, sure, making a songs about being patriotic about your own country is a good thing, but I think the game show make it worse. They ruined it with the 100% vote systems. Not by people at home using the phone, by the way. It's by the people who wearing black. It's by people behind the scene. It's by the game shows behind the scene. It's by the game show staffs. It's not by the actual audience. No. Which is, how fair is that? How fair is that? The game show make it worse. And it's becoming the trend to the later rap Viet, the Vietnamese version of the rappers. It becomes the trend. Making songs about your own country's slobs. Alright? Because like people are trying to find the advantage using the topics that we're trying to attract the audience, trying to attract the judge, trying to attract the media. Yes, the media. Alright? This is not looking okay. And I feel like this is happening. The first season of Rapid, the Vietnamese version of the rappers. Do you see how many people make songs about Vietnam? Make rap songs about being patriotic? There is no varieties here. There is not. Alright? And also, it's Rap Viet. It's the Vietnamese version of the rapper. Isn't the main point on going to the rapping competition is rap? Is to hip hop? But come on, why do the judges say yes to the contestant? They cannot differentiate the melodic rap and singing. That's a huge problem on the entertainment industry in Vietnam right now. They cannot differentiate what is melodic rap. They cannot differentiate what is singing. Alright? And they put it on the game show. On the rap game show. But the contestant, all they did is singing. The singing as a man. Alright? This is not looking okay for the entertainment industry in Vietnam. This is not. And also, I think like people behind the scenes, they went out of their way to reveal their future plans. And I see no announcement about the 5th season of Rap Viet, the Vietnamese version of the rappers. Because they're trying to pushing handsome boy, a handsome man artist. They're trying to pushing the brother say hi or anything say hi slob. I would say that it's say hi slob in Vietnam right now. The game show, like, yeah, singing, making musics. Try to make an EP in just a week. What is this? What is this? You're putting too much pressures on. My God. You're hurting people, man. You're hurting people, man. This is not looking okay. This is not looking okay. I'm not gonna lie, I really want the 5th season of Rap Viet to exist. But please, for the love of God, no script, alright? The reason why the game shows are dying is because it's being obvious. The audience are smart about this. There are scripts, alright? There is no point at staying at home like using your phones voting because the winner is they already decided ahead, alright? They don't rely on the church vote, they don't rely on the audience vote at all. It's already been scripted. That's the reason why people don't watch TV anymore. Alright? They don't watch game show anymore, they don't watch TV anymore. Even the adults, they're not gonna let their children watching the cartoon created by AI. Like, I think both VON and VTV have to wake up, alright? They want the true competition. They don't want the scripted competition, alright? I know it's for views, scripted great dramas for views, but this is not looking good, alright? This is not looking good, alright? I really hope that MCK just do whatever he wants. You know, don't bend his knee. Don't bend his knee more, alright? Just, I don't think modifying songs is a good idea. Alright? Just stick with the original lyrics. Alright? Stick with the original music videos. Alright? Please. Just be yourself. If other people, even the governments in Vietnam tells you otherwise, no, I'm gonna stand on the ground and I stand up for myself. Alright? If people didn't read the warning in the intro, that's on you. That's on you. It's not the government jobs to delete things. Alright? The laws in Vietnam has to change. The censorship acts and the copyright acts, they need to change. Alright? And also the governments in Vietnam, I really hope that you focus on school bullying and domestic violence more than focus on art and music and age verification. There's no need for this, alright? There's no need for this. Focus on the actual crimes in real life more than the piece of paper, more than music, more than art, more than drawing. Please, alright? And listen to people who actually give you the constructive criticism, alright? I know one-star reviews, people direct attack is really bad. But if there's a one-star reviews, people giving constructive criticism, that's when you need to read. Alright? That is acceptable. That's when like you have to show that you care. Alright? So yeah. Leave the comments down below what your thoughts about this. I think this may be the end of MCK's post videos, unless there's more, because MCK planning to finalizing the HVL albums and he will announce that when it's actually finished. But yeah, I feel so bad for MCK. I feel so bad for MTP. Like, I swear 100%. The audience would think that, oh, we lost this game, we can make another games, we can bounce back. No, it's not. Because it's the law. Alright? So, not only MCKs and MTPs is in the dark place. The artists who currently lives in Vietnam are also struggling too. You know? The domino effect it's gonna keep going. It's not gonna stop. It's gonna get worse, you know. Like, who's next after MCK? The Link? Who's next after MCK? Like, this is not okay at all. This is not okay. We need to stop being like this. Governments in Vietnam. We need to stop. If you truly cares about protecting the children, then focus on school bullying. Focus on domestic violence. You know, that is the only way that you truly cares about protecting the children. But for now, I don't think age verifications do any good. No. Also, I don't think restricting MTPs and MCK do any good. I don't think so. It's not your job, governments. It's not your job. It's supposed to be the parents' job. Parents supposed to parent your kids. Alright? Governments, you stay out this. Don't do anything. Alright? Don't. It's the parent jobs. You're supposed to parent your kids. Alright? If you don't want to parent your kids anymore, that is your fault. If you don't read the warnings and before going to the movie theaters or even watch the music videos, that is on you. Alright? That is 100% your fault. Alright? But yeah, guys, that's it for this videos. Leave the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. I want to know your honest opinions about this. I'm not asking for likes because I feel like this is MCK contents, you know, and it just Google Translate his comments and his latest post in English for people who are non-Vietnamese speakers who lives outside of Vietnam to understand the current situation Vietnamese people are dealing with. What happened to MTP's music videos and what happened to MCK's whole album, whole songs, all his works. Alright, and the domino effect is gonna keep going and it's gonna to spread to more artists. Alright, and it's not looking good. Alright, we cannot let Vietnam's become 2.0 version UK 2.0 ever again. We can't. We can't. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys and girls are having a wonderful days. And I know Vietnam needs to change, and it needs to change now and fast. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Bye for now.